I'm not just a random person that's telling you this information. This is what I've lived and my journey. When I had no experience, I bought my first house, and buying that first house led me to where I am today with almost $300 million in real estate under management, with an amazing team doing what I love to do. Not because I had a lot of experience, not because I was educated in how to do this, but by taking action and step by step, moving forward towards this goal, end up, arriving here. And people are like, wow, this is so awesome. How'd you do it? And I'm like, a lot of people are almost afraid of investing or hesitant or indecisive, right? It's human nature because, especially in our world today, right? There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, wars, right? There's a lot of, government concerns. And I think because of that, a lot of people just get stuck on the sidelines, and I had a conversation with somebody just yesterday and they said, hey, I don't know if I should invest because of everything that's going on in the world. And I said, well, there's one thing that's definitely guaranteed. If you never invest at all, you'll never get any returns, right? And so it's a simple concept. But, I think when I look at the world and I look at a lot of the challenges, in the investment landscape, and it actually makes me want to invest more. I think you actually have to really go all in on investing because, maybe some of these things don't work out. Maybe there's different challenges or headwinds, but I think that's why you really need to double down on investing. And, a little bit of my journey, I've always been somebody that's kind of leans more to the side of taking action because I'm just like, well, that's how I'm going to learn. And so, made some mistakes along the way, started a lot of businesses in over 20 years. And so some of those businesses failed. I have a few businesses that failed just because they didn't work out financially. And some of them failed because I kind of chose to shut them down because as I was doing, I realized, hey, this isn't really an avenue that I want to go down. But I wouldn't have known that unless I had taken action and explored that and exhausted it and realized, this isn't for me. It's only when you go through the trenches and it's only when you actually learn those things, and I think it's that way in any career. Even in the medical field, people go to school to become a medical doctor, but it's not until they get out there and they start working with patients, right, in the real world that they actually learn. Like they start to embrace it and they start to really know the ins and outs. And it's like that in any business. I feel like it's that way in any job, and one of my best friends, he always talks about investing, and he's like, well, I want to buy this investment property and it's like been 2 decades. So it's been like 20 years and he's bought a single house that I actually co-bought with him. And it's not a knock or anything, because I think that's human nature, but he really wants to have everything perfect. He wants to have it all figured out. He wants there to almost be like no risk, and he's like, well, maybe I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity. And, my philosophy is like, there are no perfect opportunities. And if they are, it's only because you looked back and you saw that it was because you took action. 2009 was the perfect opportunity to buy single family homes. Right after, the crash, right? But very few people saw that. No one was like, oh, this is the greatest opportunity. Like literally in our lifetime, that was probably one of the best opportunities to buy single family homes. But people were worried. People had just lost a bunch of money. The real estate market had totally crashed. It was super hard to get a loan, if not impossible. And so it was actually the perfect opportunity. And there were a few people that took action, between 2009, 10 to up to probably 2013 was that golden window. But all that to say, I think taking action trumps, what we call analysis paralysis, always studying, always learning, always trying to eliminate all the variables so that we're going to be successful. But, all that wasted time and those wasted, just that brain power, I think, this is my big takeaway. I just encourage you guys to take action on something. And I'm not saying do a bad deal. Taking action, we learn by doing as human beings. And without actually engaging in the real world, that's really how you'll learn and how you'll grow as an investor. And you'll make mistakes. But even if you do make some mistakes and you lose some or you have setbacks, one thing is sure, you're definitely going to have setbacks if you don't do anything. You'll just stay where you are. And so that'd be my thought for you guys today on this podcast is to take action and don't allow uncertainty to stop you, right? To push through any kind of fear, push through any kind of doubts, because that's normal. We you look at successful investors out there, you're like, oh, you're so intelligent, or you're so fearless, or you're willing to embrace that uncertainty. And really, it's like, I don't think they're smarter than anyone else. I don't think that they have any unique gift mix. A lot of folks that are out there doing great things in the investing world, they take action. And I think that's really what it comes down to. So thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Own the Exit. Have a great day.